All right, we are now approaching 300 or 580 degrees. Our time is 4 minutes now. That's about where we want to be. We want to be back up at temperature at 4 minutes, even if you have to max out your burners in order to get there. We want to go ahead and invest that heat in this roast, so that's why it's important to get it back on time. Now, as we go past 580 degrees, we're going to dial the knobs back to hold that number, because we found that number works pretty well for us. So I'm just going to dial my knobs back a little bit, just to hold that 580 degree number. Once again, we're looking for a first crack at 18 minutes, roughly 13 and a half minutes from now. One of the symbols that we're going to be looking for, the visual cues that we're going to be looking for, is we're going to look for steam, which is the indicator of first crack. We're going to see that steam coming out of the back of our roaster. Sometimes it's useful to put your roaster up against a darker colored background, a tree or something like that, where you can see that steam a little bit better. That steam is not quite so apparent in a 1 pound roast because it's just such a little mass. But when you have a larger mass like this, then we're going to want to have that steam will be a little more visible. Now, as my temperature increases, I can continue to lower my knob, and if it gets up too hot, I can just lift it for a second and just dump some of that heat, just to get us back down to 580. So I've lowered my knobs, and we're looking to hold that 580 degree temperature. Now we're on the coasting period, all the way up to the first crack. So we're looking for that steam to come up right back here. That's the indicator of first. Another indicator, you can kind of go around the back. Just kind of smell. You'll get an aroma as you approach first crack that is kind of a burning sensation. It kind of burns your nose, burns your eyes. That tells you you're getting close as well. You won't get that right now, but if you come back and try, say about, in this case, about a minute or two before first crack, you'll start seeing that pungent odor starting to burn your nose. So now we're just going to wait. We're going to wait to about 16 minutes, which will get us a couple of minutes before first crack, and then we'll pick up right here. So at this point, if you're bagging your coffee, if you figured out your roaster and you know what temperature you need to achieve your first crack on time and your second crack on time, then you can actually run away right now. Make sure you know your roaster before you do it. But you can run off and you can get your bags ready, your labels ready, you can get your supplies for bagging the coffee ready at that time, during this break. Just keep your phone handy or your watch handy so you know where you're at in about 2 minutes before first crack happens, because you've done this a few times and you know when first crack is going to happen. Come back and check on it. But here we're looking about an 18-minute first crack, so I've got about 8 minutes now where I can go do something else, and I don't have to babysit the roaster. My temperature is holding 580 degrees nicely. I put a couple of tape indicators here on the grill. Just kind of indicates where my 4-pound roast mark is. These just little pieces of duct tape. That's about the right place for a fully loaded drum, which is what I like to do. It's the most efficient way to roast coffee when you're roasting as much as you can. So I set my knobs here, and then you can see my temperature is holding steady. Note that as your tank diminishes in propane, the knob settings may not reflect that exactly, but it's a pretty good indicator. So we'll come back here in about 8 minutes or so, and we'll check back in. Thanks.